Welcome back to Unstable TV, and you're tuned into Irish Couple Reacts. And do stay tuned because this happens every week.
So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share and hit that bell notification. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you.
Back with another history reaction. Now this one was actually suggested to us.
Yes, so thank you for asking us to do this.
The name is Saint Alexander Yaroslavich. I do apologise if I said that wrong, but we are gonna pop them up here.
Yeah, we're gonna link it there. So yeah, again, thanks for the suggestion. We've actually never heard of this channel or anything like that before, so
Yeah.
So big ups.
Thanks again for letting us know about it. So the video suggested to us that we are going to be doing today is World War One, 1918. So without further ado, we'll jump in, will we?
Let's get into it. It should be interesting.
(1918). After 3.5 years of war, the Allies are in crisis. Russia has been rocked by revolution, and its new Bolshevik government has signed an armistice with the Central Powers. Thousands of German troops will be freed up to fight on the Western Front,
Wow.
where the carnage of trench warfare has already claimed more than 1 million lives.
1 million lives.
That's a lot.
But Germany is also desperate. Britain's long naval blockade has led to shortages and social unrest at home, while America's entry into the war brings fresh manpower and vast resources to the Allied cause.
Wow.
Germany faces inevitable defeat unless it can win a quick victory on the Western Front. US President Wilson announces his 14 points. They outline his vision for a post-war world, including an end to secret treaties,
No more.
size of armed forces, self-determination for the people of the Austro-Hungarian
Did any
Empire,
Indians go through?
and an international organization to settle future disputes. But most European leaders dismiss his ideas as wishful thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Was
Wishful
wishful
thinking.
At Brest-Litovsk, Bolshevik Russia signs a peace treaty with the Central Powers. Russia gives up vast amounts of territory in exchange for peace.
Oh.
I didn't even know Russia did
Half a
that.
No, I
million
didn't know
German
Russia made
troops can
such
now
a
be
out of Russia
redeployed from the east to the
made a
western
generous offer
front,
like that.
where German General Erich Ludendorff plans an all-out, last-ditch offensive to win the war. Ludendorff's spring offensive catches the Allies off guard. German stormtroopers, using new infiltration tactics, help to overwhelm the British Fifth Army, which is soon in full retreat.
Well, that's some
The German
tactician.
advance threatens to split the British and French armies, with disastrous consequences.
A bit like a pincer.
So French General Ferdinand Foch is appointed Supreme Commander of Allied forces to coordinate strategy. Outside Amiens, British and Australian troops improvise a defence and finally halt the German advance. The German offensive switches to the north,
That's a good
targeting the
offense.
Channel ports. But the British inflict heavy losses on the Germans and prevent a breakthrough.
The dawn of air power.
Above the trenches, the First Air War continues to escalate.
Imagine how scary
Each
that
side now has more than
you'd be
3,000
frightened getting
aircraft
on
in
the plane.
service on the Western Front. But by 1918, the Allies have won air superiority, thanks to greater resources.
I've seen that. Not in walking
On
out
the
and seeing that.
21st of
Like you'd be
April,
frightened.
Germany's most famous pilot, Manfred von Richthofen, the Red Baron, is shot down and killed near Amiens. With 80 victories, he's the war's highest scoring ace, and is buried by the Allies with full military honours. Britain's new independent bombing force launches a daylight raid against Cologne. It marks the beginning of Britain's own strategic bombing
I didn't
campaign.
realise Germany got so big.
On the ground,
got big, but I didn't
Ludendorff's
realise that.
offensive switches south, targeting the French. German troops advance 30 miles,
They are pushing them
but are
back again.
halted at the River Marne, just as fresh American divisions enter the line.
Here they come.
Yep.
The US 1st Division is the first to see combat at the Battle of Cantigny. 3 days later, the US 2nd Division wins victory at the Battle of Belleau Wood. By now, there are nearly 1 million American soldiers in France.
Well, 1 million in France.
10,000 more
That's a lot.
arriving every day. The 4th phase of the German offensive leads to a 9-mile advance, but is finally halted by a French counterattack. In Italy, Austria-Hungary launches an attack at Asiago and the Piave River to support Ludendorff's offensive in France. But it's repulsed with heavy losses, and morale amongst the Austro-Hungarian army collapses.
The morale shattered.
British and French troops land at Murmansk in northern Russia.
Why didn't I
It's the beginning of
Yeah,
Allied
they ran away
intervention
from
in
all
Russia's
this.
civil war, on the side of so-called white or anti-Bolshevik forces. On the Western Front, the Germans' final attack is defeated in the Second Battle of the Marne.
But it looks like the coordination there looked like they had it, but
offensive has cost the
they got pushed
Germans
back.
more than 600,000 casualties. And
600,000.
has failed to make a decisive breakthrough. Germany's final gamble has failed.
Collapse.
The Allies now go on the attack. At the Battle of Amiens, British, Australian, Canadian and French troops, supported by tanks and aircraft, advance 7 miles in a single day.
Oh, that's a lot.
General Ludendorff calls the 8th of August the Black Day of the German army. German troops are exhausted, hungry and demoralized, and begin to surrender in their thousands.
Yeah, so they just gave up after that.
The Battle of Amiens begins
Yeah.
the Allies' 100 Days Offensive. Trench warfare is over. The Germans are in full retreat.
Just pushed them all the way back then.
In the Balkans, a new Allied offensive at Dobropolye breaks through Bulgarian positions. The overstretched Bulgarian army collapses, and 2 weeks later, Bulgaria signs an armistice.
I don't know. I thought you
In the
would explain
Middle
it.
East, British-led forces defeat the Turks at the Battle of Megiddo, taking 25,000 prisoners.
You alright?
Allied troops soon occupy Damascus and Aleppo.
Oh.
On the Western Front, Marshal Foch orders a general attack. British, French and American armies reach the Hindenburg Line, a line of reinforced German defences, and break through.
How were they not going to break through them?
Yeah, like there was enough of them.
No.
Ludendorff informs the Kaiser that the military situation is hopeless and that Germany must seek an armistice. Germany sends a request to US President Woodrow Wilson, who in return demands German withdrawal from all occupied territory and the Kaiser's abdication. On the Italian front, the Allies deliver the final blow to Austria-Hungary at the Battle of Vittorio Veneto. The Austro-Hungarian army disintegrates, and 300,000 prisoners
Wow,
are
look at
taken.
that. That's a lot of casualties.
With the Central Powers facing collapse, the Ottoman Empire signs an armistice with the Allies at Mudros. 4 days later, Austria-Hungary signs an armistice with the Allies at Villa Giusti.
Okay, armistice.
At Kiel, the German high seas
I think
fleet
it's
is
like
ordered to make a
desystem on the
suicidal
arms.
attack
As in
on
like
the British
stop shooting
Navy.
us.
But instead,
I think.
it mutinies. Revolution spreads through Germany. The Kaiser abdicates, and a German republic is proclaimed. On the 11th of November 1918, a German delegation signs an armistice with the Allies inside
Armistice left, right and centre.
at Compiègne.
We're gonna look her up at the end.
It comes into force at 11 a.m., but fighting continues until the last moment. American Private Henry Gunter is killed, charging a German machine gun at 10:59.
Well,
He is thought to be the last soldier killed during World War I. 3 days later, in East Africa, German General von Lettow-Vorbeck surrenders his army on the Chambezi River.
well,
For 4 years, he has tied down huge numbers of Allied troops, remaining undefeated while cut off from home. He is still considered one of history's greatest guerrilla leaders.
guerrilla leaders.
Grr.
1919. This is not a peace. It is an armistice for 20 years.
The Paris Peace Conference opens at the Palace of Versailles, just outside the
Ah,
French
the old
capital.
Treaty of Versailles.
Delegates accept a proposal to create a League of Nations to settle future international disputes.
Yeah, that worked.
The Versailles Treaty, signed
That worked
in
out
June,
really well, didn't it?
imposes harsh terms on Germany. Its
Yeah, they basically
military
made
is
Germany pay for
restricted
it.
in size. It must pay war reparations to the Allies. It loses territory to its neighbours. And its colonies are seized by the victors. Germany
Germany
must
just got,
also
like, a
accept
harsh deal after.
responsibility for the war in a
Obviously, they
war
shouldn't have been
guilt
going to war in the first place,
a
but
source
like,
of lasting resentment in Germany. The boundaries of Europe are redrawn. Poland
Wow.
re-emerges after 100 years of foreign rule, while Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, and an enlarged Romania emerge from the ashes of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
well, everyone got better off after.
The Ottoman Empire is dismantled.
I thought it
New
was
states,
one
most
of
under
them.
European
So?
control, are created in the Middle East. Here, as in Europe, the seeds of future conflict are sown.
Future
While in the Far East,
Doesn't stop
former
them.
German possessions in China are handed to Japan, to China's outrage.
Yeah, no, everyone was happy with that treaty already.
Claimed the lives of 9.5 million soldiers.
9.5 million.
1
That's
in
awful.
8 of those who fought. 21
That's
million
insane.
more were wounded.
Yeah, what's the story? Where's the red meter for Ireland? Ireland got pulled in like there was no
Also
tomorrow.
lost their lives.
Yeah, we got conscripted. Well, I suppose that
Huge
was from
areas
England.
of Europe were left devastated.
Well, I suppose we're counted in the British
Old
Parliament.
empires vanished. New states were born. Lives across the world were transformed. The world was never the same again.
I wouldn't imagine it was. That was a horrible time to live through. Not a horrible time in history, but like, how could you
If
be
you
the same?
enjoyed this video, please remember
I'm just gonna have a look at this arm assist.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what that means.
I'm gonna take a look now.
I'm gonna have a guess and say it's like a ceasefire, but I could be way wrong.
Wow, look what I said.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah.
We're both gonna take a guess here and say
It says, according to Google, an agreement made by opposing sides in a war to stop fighting for a certain time, a truce. Yeah, a ceasefire.
oh, so that's why I said it was 20 years, even though World War II was not 20 years out. No.
Exactly.
Was it 20 years out? Was it? Was it? No?
No.
I'm a history buff, as you can see. Yeah, so.
So what did you think of that? As being the big history buff you are?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I didn't realise Germany got so big. I don't know why I'm concerned with that, but
That's it. That's the one thing you took away from it.
yeah, I didn't realise it.
Yeah.
What about you?
The one thing looking at it, which like look, I know they were in the war and it was, you know, they were doing horrible stuff. Every side was doing horrible stuff. You know, no one got off lightly. But like expecting Germany solely responsible for the whole thing, that's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
And taking like a season and all their stuff off them, like that's, come on.
It's like Germany was put in the bold corner after the war.
Yeah, it was like put baby in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like literally what happened. Now we could be reading that all wrong, could be more horrendous, but
No, I'm going to assume it is. But
boy, it's like that's just an opinion.
There's a lot of casualties as well.
Yeah, like it was horrible the amount of people that were taken from it, and like
what did they say? 1 in 8 soldiers died during that.
that's awful.
That's a big amount.
Imagine the families impacted from that. I'm sure they never forgot it. Like that's
Absolutely.
horrible.
And the Ottoman Empire wasn't gone before the 1800s.
Yeah, it feels like it should have been, but it just shows you how much it broke down and how much came out of the ashes as well. So it just shows that a lot of times the humanity does build back better.
This goes to show that humanity can evolve after something like that, isn't it?
Humanity can evolve after something like that. That's 100%. So let us know in the comments down below what you thought about that, and if you have any other suggestions, shout out to the one at the start there that suggested us. And
I'm really sorry we cannot pronounce the name on.
yeah, we do apologise about that. If we did destroy it, sorry in advance.
But again, thank you for suggesting this to us because it's very interesting.
Yeah, thanks for leaving the comment and letting us know. And anyone else down there, we'll do the same. You suggest it, we'll throw you up in here with us. So as always, you were the beautiful people of YouTube, and we have been Unstable TV.
So drop a comment below and let us know what you thought of this reaction video. And if you have any other suggestions of what we should do, let us know too.
And as always, we will see you in